Chiefs Kingdom. Welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jackson Durham, and today, coming out of the Week 11 loss to the Broncos, we are discussing how Kansas City can get back into the playoff hunt. Right now, we're sitting outside the playoff picture, but there is absolutely a path back for Kansas City into this thing. So we're going to discuss that in just a minute. But first, let's take a look at that AFC playoff picture just in case you guys haven't been up to date with it lately. We'll show you exactly how things have played out to this point. So number one right now is the Denver Broncos, top of the AFC West, top of the AFC in general. And also right there with them is the New England Patriots, both of those teams at 9-2. In third place, the Indianapolis Colts, who we're going to talk about in just a minute. We're going to see Daniel Jones and the boys this weekend at our place. Enormous game, has a huge impact on our playoff positioning. And then you go all the way past down to the others department. There we sit at 5-5, right there with Houston and right there with Baltimore. But guys, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again right now. It is not time to give up. I've seen way too much quitter talk on Chiefs Twitter lately, and it's driving me a little crazy. That's why we're here today, to restore some faith. 57% chance from the New York Times playoff machine, 55% chance from FPI, and 54% from Next Gen Stats. Those are three pretty accredited institutions. They're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, they're looking at the schedule, and they're saying better than a coin flip's odds that we're back in this thing. So why are so many of us quitting? I don't get it. But I need us to bring back the energy because, like I keep saying, it's not over yet. And if you want to see the Kansas City Chiefs get back in the playoffs, if you want to bring back some energy to Chiefs Kingdom, I need you to hype today's video. And if you don't know how to hype the video, that's okay. We're going to explain it. So number one, if you love the Kansas City Chiefs, you're already here watching the video, so I know you love the Kansas City Chiefs. But get down there and smash the hype button. So the way you do this, it's a brand new feature on YouTube, and it really supports our channel. Helps this get out to more Kansas City Chiefs fans across the kingdom. Helps them know that the playoffs are 100% still within reach. And we're going to show you guys and them how to get back into the playoffs. But go down in those comments, swipe right on them if you're on your mobile device. If not, just pull it out real quick and go on the YouTube app. Swipe right on those comments and click hype today's video, and that'll get our message out to more Kansas City Chiefs fans across the kingdom. We massively appreciate you guys. But like I said, today we're talking how we get back into the playoffs. And you got to do that by winning football games. And the next 5 are really going to decide this thing. Number 1, Indianapolis Colts in Week 12. Mentioned them earlier. This one's huge. We've also got the Cowboys at their place right here where the Chat Sports offices are in Dallas. Week 14, we're at home against Houston. Week 15, at home against the Chargers. And Week 16, on the road against the Titans. A little bit of a freebie. Knock on wood. But 4 of these, in my opinion, are enormous games that we absolutely have to pay attention to. The first one coming up this weekend, Indianapolis. And then we got one in 2 weeks, the Houston Texans. Week after that, the LA Chargers. And then obviously, we got to get some revenge on our divisional rivals. Both of these teams, they currently hold the head-to-head edge on us. Chargers and Broncos in Weeks 15 and Week 17 are enormous as well. But what I want you guys to note is the 4 things that all of these games have in common, or the one thing that all 4 of these games have in common. They're all at home. We get to play all 4 of these games in front of the best fans in the NFL at one of the best venues in the entire NFL, in my opinion, the best venue in the entire NFL, Arrowhead Stadium. We get to bring all these guys to our place where it's so tough to play. I think that's an enormous advantage, and I'm really happy to see our 4 biggest games get to be played right in Kansas City. That's huge, guys. I really don't think you can underrate it. But I want to hear from the kingdom on this one. Which of these 4 matchups are you a little worried about? Which one's got you a little nervous? Is it Indianapolis this weekend? Is it Houston in Week 14? Is it the rematches with the Chargers or with Denver? Let me know in the comments which one you are most worried about. For me, guys, it's probably this weekend against Indianapolis. I think it's probably just because it's coming up right on the brink of it, but it's also how big it is, and it's how good this Colts team is. But don't you worry. I know maybe we're sweating it, but the preview is coming tomorrow. I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I think this one's going to play out. I'm going to give you my prediction, and I'm also going to give you the Chiefs' keys to victory. That is all coming tomorrow, so make sure you hit the subscribe button while you're down there hyping the video. Subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you do not miss our preview coming tomorrow. Going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to get you ready for the game against the Indianapolis Colts. But speaking of other teams in the AFC, we're not on our own in this journey back to the postseason. Maybe that's the way to best say this. There are a couple games and a couple other teams that can give us a little bit of help if they win theirs. 4 weeks in particular. There's not really one this week with most of our divisional rivals off, but there's a couple that I want to point out that there is one this week, excuse me. But there's a couple I want to point out that we need to root for. Other teams that we've got to be briefly fans of. Week 12, we are rooting for the Arizona Cardinals to take down the Jacksonville Jags. Unlikely to happen. Can I kind of notice that's a theme with a lot of these games as we progress through. But week 12, we are Cardinals fans, gang. Week 13, we're Titans fans against the Jags again. We really need the Jags to lose some games considering they have a head-to-head edge over us. And we're Raiders fans against the Chargers. I know that sucks to be Raiders fans, but it's not going to be the only time we got to be Raiders fans over the next couple. Week 14, we're Raiders fans again. They're taking on the Denver Broncos, and we need Denver and LA to lose a step here, guys. We need to take the advantage on them, and that's where Philly comes in as well. I know it sucks to cheer for the Raiders and the Eagles in 1 week. Believe me, I don't like the idea of that any more than you guys do. But if we want to get into the postseason, that's the reality of where we are. And then in week 15, Jets versus Jags. We can get some of these outcomes to swing our way. And I'm going to be realistic, gang. The odds on this, not very high that most of these swing our direction. The teams we're rooting for are almost all the worst team in the matchup, other than that Eagles game. But hopefully the Eagles can pull through for us. And hopefully we can get a couple upsets. That's really what it comes down to. You can flip a couple of these, then we're ultimately back in the discussion. But we also don't need it. I think that's what's important. We can get this help. It's absolutely there for us if we can get some upsets. It's something to watch for, something to root for. But I don't want you guys to feel like that's something we have to have. We can get right back into the postseason on our own. We still control our own destiny in the sense of getting back in the playoffs. Our next 5 games are all winnable, in my opinion. Colts, yes, they're good. Yes, they've also played terrible football at times this season, especially lately. Daniel Jones starting to turn back into that guy he was in New York. Cowboys defense has been arguably the worst in the NFL, maybe bar the Cincinnati Bengals. Texans have played inconsistent football. Chargers just got smacked by the Jags last week, and the Titans are the Tennessee Titans. All 5 of these games are 100% winnable. You just got to get back in it one step at a time. And speaking of one step at a time, that is also how I put together my lineups with Prize Picks, gangs. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks, and the weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right will never get old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. And a new feature that I love about Prize Picks is their feed tab. Follow other players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner like producer Ponzi, or just someone whose picks you really like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. And guys, like always, I've got your feed tab right here for you with me. Here's my picks for Thursday Night Football and Sunday as well. We're going with the more on James Cook and the more on Josh Allen. More on everybody, guys. Life is just too short to ever take the less. We're rolling with Jackson Smith and Jigba in the Sunday slate as well. So you could tell me, you could fade me on these picks. Whatever you do, just do it at Prize Picks because Prize Picks puts their members first. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Back into our discussion of the Chiefs' playoff path. I want you to view this as a brick-by-brick journey. And I'm going to illustrate it to you with our chance of making the playoffs every time we win one of these games. You win this week in Indianapolis. Your odds go from, remember, back at the beginning of this video, just a little bit over 50%, just a shade above 50%, to 69% chance of making the playoffs. Next week, week 13, 79% chance, jumping 10%. Week 14, 85% chance. You get the big divisional in week 15, 94% chance. And lastly, you wrap up the Titans in week 16. You are staring down a 96% chance to make the playoffs, regardless of what happens with anybody else. Whole rest of the league be damned. Just us and our schedule. We win out, we get in. And look, why can't we go on a run? Why not us, guys? I know we're not used to saying that in Kansas City, but why not us? We've been at the top for a while, but right now we're 5-5. But this team is not far removed from going 15-2 last season, winning 15 of your first 16 games, finding a way to get that done, going 5-1 between weeks 3 and 8 of this very season. And look, I know at times this has been frustrating. I know this Chiefs unit has been one of the more frustrating over the last couple of years, probably of Mahomes' entire tenure. But I also think, and I said this in a short yesterday, that they are one of the most talented teams we've ever put around Mahomes. And I know that sounds ridiculous, staring at a 5-5 record, but we are second in EPA per play, fifth in EPA per pass, and second in EPA per rush when you account for the rushes from Patrick Mahomes. Our offense is undeniably elite, and our defense is not far behind. Our defense, 11th in EPA per play, 9th in EPA per pass, and 22nd in EPA per rush. That's really the only asset or aspect in which we are not an elite unit. But it just comes down to finishing. It just comes down to finishing. None of those stats would tell you we are 5-5, but the only one that would is being 0-5 in one-score games. You have 5 losses this season by just 21 combined points. Unbelievable. It really is. There's really no other word for it. Your average loss is by just over 4 points. But we have got to finish this season. We have got to find a way to win the close games. And ultimately, when we do that, and if we can get some help from some other people, we are locked to make the postseason, guys. I know it sounds unlikely right now. I know it sounds ridiculous. But if we can get back to what made Kansas City special over the last few years, which is finding a way to finish, which is finding a way to win the close ones, we are the same team we were last year. In fact, I think we're better. I think we are a better team than we were last year. And last year's team went 15-2 and made the Super Bowl. Week 12 is coming up. It's going to be a huge one. Facing Indianapolis at home. And I've said it before, but this is really where the road begins to get back into it. You're 5-5 right now. Wipe the slate clean. Basically starting the season again. Talked about it. You win 5 in a row, you're a lock for the playoffs. But that begins this Sunday. I mentioned it earlier in this video, but tomorrow we've got an enormous preview for you guys. This thing is loaded. Been working on it for a while. Got keys to victory. Got my prediction for the game. Scouting report for the Colts. So please hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching today's video. I've been Jackson Durham, and we'll see you guys next time.